hate your dog, if you starve your dog, if you hate your dog, you're charged. And you know, one of the big pushbacks that I got from some people is, you know, well, what if there was an overzealous dog owner? What if a neighbor didn't like the other neighbor? At the end of the day, the facts are the facts that the police officer in charge will gather the facts.
Rebecca.
Hi, Rebecca. Nice to meet you too. Oh my God, I just made it.
So glad you made it.
I'm just
we were
like,
so worried about you.
I got to get up there just to get a little shot. Yeah, yeah.
It's a felony. I trust my local district attorney to make the right choices in criminal cases, and that's what I try to do with this legislation. So when people say, you know, they're worried about this person or that person or an angry neighbor, you know, trying to pick on somebody, I don't buy that, because it's going to turn on the facts and go back to the DA. So, look, this bill got this far because of you and because of all the Pennsylvanians that care about these issues. So I want to thank all of you for what you did to get us to this point. And of course, we have to thank Little Libre. Listen, I swear that little guy knows he's a rock star. He comes in the Capitol and he just eats it up. The cameras, he gets in front of the cameras, he turns it on. But you know, no animal should ever have to go through what he went through. And I know there are some in the crowd today that have had similar stories, and thank you for bringing them out to show your support for these bills as well. Whenever we put this together at the very end, look, you know how politics works. It's like making sausage. It can be an ugly situation, and maybe it's best not to see it. But we, you know, we worked hard to try and get consensus on all these bills. At the end of session, there's always a mad rush to get things done. I took a shot at it. I wanted to put it all together because I felt it was common sense legislation to put together in one bill. We had Representative Ryan Bizarro's bill in the Senate, so we loaded it up in there. It passed the Senate, by the way, 50-0. Every senator supported this bill. Which gave me great hope that when it got over to the House that we would have some action. But look, I understand, you know, everyone's trying to shove things through at the last moment, and sometimes things get misunderstood. I've heard a lot of misinformation about what this bill does and doesn't do. So I don't believe the House is going to vote it today or tomorrow, but we're not going to give up, okay? Look, this is, we're just not. I mean, we owe this to our friends, our animals. We're going to come back again next year with a package of bills. I'm going to expand and work with a number of other legislators who have a great interest in this. Number one, Representative Todd Stevens from Montgomery County, who is a former assistant district attorney, great friend of mine. I actually went to college with him, known him for a long time, and he has great interest in rewriting the entire animal code. So I want to sit down with him and some other legislators. We want to create a working group to really work through this, to make sure that we're changing these laws, we're making them better, and we're being smart about it, that we're getting rid of ambiguity, and that we're getting the support of everyone in the House and the Senate to pass these bills. So I look forward to that. I do want to thank, look, there were a number of great folks over in the House that were helping me in pushing this bill. You know, Leader Dave Reed was behind this thing. He was pushing it. He was trying to manage it. Again, at the 11th hour, there was pensions on the table. There were other major pieces of legislation, and I get that. We have a House member here today that I want to thank for showing up. Dave, thank you very much. I don't know your district, I apologize. 150. Now, I'll let Dave say a few words and he can tell. I didn't know exactly where he was from, but there were lots of good people who support us on this bill. So the message here today is thank you for all that you've done to help get these bills moved along. I'm not quitting. There's lots of good support up here. We're going to continue to push, and I want you to keep the momentum going. When we get these bills packaged and put out again in the new year, I want you to get on the phone, call your senators, thank them for their support, call your representatives, ask them where they're at, and ask them to please support this. So thank you all for everything that you've done, and Dave Parker wants to say a few words. So thank you.
Thank you, Senator. Honored to be here this morning. 2 years ago,
I was celebrating a victory in an election and becoming a new representative. And one of the first calls I got was from Kathleen Schlegel in my district in Monroe County, Pennsylvania, in Stroudsburg, a big advocate for dogs and specifically anti-tethering. And she had legislation been trying to get through for 10 years. So we introduced that bill, HB869. That was the first piece of legislation I introduced. And learned a lot in the course of that. Of course, Senator Alloway's legislation also was moving in the Senate. His came over. Now, essentially, that bill is contained in House Bill 869. So I've been trying to push it over in the House, and I know we don't feel very hopeful that it's going to happen, but I always like to say there is a chance because we do vote tomorrow, or we can vote tomorrow. We could send it over, but of course, as a representative and having an office, you start to get those phone calls, especially as winter starts. People calling about their neighbor's dog is out just tied to a tree, and the water's frozen, and you want to intervene. So you call the appropriate people, but they got to come from Philadelphia or other far distances, and we just don't have the law we need that people can intervene, and we need that. So that's in this bill, and as I say, I'm hopeful that it'll get through. Unfortunately, I will not be here next session to help push that, but I do thank HB869 for supporting me in my attempt to get reelected. But we will, continue to watch for Monroe County, and hopefully these things will get addressed so that we can protect our pets and protect, all the animals in Pennsylvania that are not being treated properly. So, thank you.
Thank you. The Sheroes for animals, Janine and Jessica, are up. I wore one of these yesterday and he did the same thing. I should know better by now. All right, there you go. Not sure really what to say. I didn't actually write anything down, but Janine and I both want to thank everybody for coming. The support is amazing. The support for Libre, I think Libre here has really opened a lot of people's eyes. Oh. And this bill may or may not come to a vote tomorrow. I know that it may not, but there's always a chance, and I don't want people to give up hope. Even if it doesn't come to a vote tomorrow, we're not quitting. We're here to stay. We're not going anywhere. Do not be discouraged. Don't give up hope for tomorrow, but if it doesn't happen tomorrow, I think we'll be back here again, and we'll be here stronger. This just continues to grow, and I think that it will, and really that's all I have to say. But thank you all so much. All right. Okay, I seriously, this is so wonderful because I really do call them my Sheroes of animals. And thank you so much, Senator Alloway, for everything you've done, and Representative Parker for your support on animal protection issues. And thank you all for being here to rally final passage of House Bill 869. According to Governor Wolf, the most comprehensive animal protection package that our state's history has seen. And with pen in hand, he is ready to sign that bill into law.
Yeah. We're all ready.
Shortly after our first rally for Libre's law, Senator Alloway added the amendment to House Bill 869, and because of you, that passed the Senate unanimously.
Good.
You should definitely a round of applause for all your work. So your voices were heard, and little Libre was by far the most loved lobbyist in Harrisburg. And despite opposition on the bill, the Senate did do their part to move this legislation forward. However, much to our shock and disappointment, the House did not bring this bill up for a vote. Our purpose today is to urge your state representative or their staff representative to move this bill through the House and to urge House leadership to bring this bill up for a vote. There are a few amendments just as far as the bill goes that I do want to highlight. As the law currently stands, a convicted animal abuser can have that same animal back that he abused. House Bill 869 would require that upon conviction of animal cruelty, that animal would be forfeited to an animal shelter.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Libre's law, which we have right over here, would increase penalties for heinous animal abuse.
Put the sign down, please.
Jess, where is that poster? Right here. So the Anna shelter took in Morgan. He was the victim of a domestic violence dispute. The perpetrator broke his jaw and 2 front legs, injuries caused swelling to the brain. The person who did this paid a $150 fine and could have animals back.
No.
Ooh, that is a big boo. And Libre's law adds a new section of aggravated cruelty for heinous animal abuse for crimes like this to be prosecuted as a felony.
Finally, gotta be done.
Libre's law also does have prevention of 24/7 tethering and inclement weather regulations, and we're supposed to have that sign up here, so if you want to hold it up. And the senator, this is, obviously one of my favorite photos with Trooper. And Trooper actually came to Cumberland Valley Animal Shelter, and he had burns around his neck. He had a wound under his chin that he could barely lap water, and at that time had obviously been tethered for an extended amount of time. Thank you to the shelter for taking care of him, and knowing that this would now prevent, as a step in the right direction, 24/7 tethering of those dogs that are as a means of confinement currently.
Yeah.
And finally, House Bill 869 adds protection for horses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, yes, definitely. So Cordelia's law was actually right behind Carol here. This is Penn, actually. I want to thank our Pennsylvania State Council and district leaders who cared so much about horse protection issues that we actually adopted a horse, saved him from slaughter, and he now is our mascot for horse protection issues in the state.
Awesome.
So because misdemeanor level charges don't currently apply to horses, this would improve that in this cruelty code as well.
Yes.
These are just a few examples of why we need a change in the law. Too many animals suffer horrific abuse at the hands of their abusers. Stronger protections are needed when a perpetrator can abuse an animal and pay a mere fine, the legal equivalent of a traffic violation.
Disgusting.
I am really so proud to stand here and have this opportunity to have time with you today. I'm proud to say that we have had more than 28,000 concerned citizens sign a petition to express support of this legislation. An animal protection billboard in Harrisburg.
Yes. Woohoo!
Media, thank you, by the way, to all of the media here. You have kept this issue in the forefront of the public eye.
Yeah. Awesome.
Media, Kate Mara, American actress and has 2 Boston Terriers herself, who said she didn't mind working with such a big star like Libre. So if we get a vote today, accept victory with grace. If we don't get a vote today, don't be discouraged. No matter how unfair or difficult, stay positive by continuing to build bridges and relationships with your legislators. Use this as an opportunity to grow our cause by encouraging advocates to give a legislative voice to animals. Our next opportunity, if we don't get a vote today or tomorrow, would be January. But Senator, you feel pretty confident we'll get a vote early in the session?
That's my man, my Republican.
So we will not give up. We are their voice. And I leave you with this. In the wise words of Margaret Mead, quote, "Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has."
Amen.
Well, that's all we have to say. Again, thank you so much for all of you. Taking time out of your day. I know you have things to do, your work and family, and you're here at the Capitol to raise awareness. Again, Kristen said something I do want to. I know as a politician we have differences with the media on a lot of different issues, but I do thank you in the media. This is so important that you've kept this in the forefront of people's minds so they understand what's at stake here and exactly what the facts are. We couldn't have done this without you and all the thousands of folks who have paid attention to this. So thank you very much. Let's go make some phone calls and make some visits.
Thank you.
To determine your hometown legislator, the HSUS table is a great resource, and would love for you to swing in the Capitol to stop by your rep's office and make sure that they know you're here so your voice is heard.
Okay, kids. There it is. Yet another small step back.